Welcome to students of BCom Part 2. In the present lecture, we are going to learn types of securities. We know that share capital is an important financial aspect of the company. A company is an organization formed for the purpose of to, to us to work in the form of business. Business means being busy. A company is the most popular form of business organization. The capital of the company is known as share capital. In last period, we get information about the types of capital, and from that we learned that paid-up capital is the capital is the capital that actually get to the organization or company. A company is an artificial person created by law. The purpose of any company is to do any kind of business. Therefore, there are certain types of companies. Manufacturing companies are the companies which are related to manufacturing work. It means that they are manufacturing certain commodities or assets. On the other hand, trading companies are not manufacturing goods and products, but they are concerned with trading. So another type of companies is that service companies. That means they are not producing any products or commodities, but they are providing services to the society. So by taking into consideration the nature of companies, there are three types of companies: manufacturing companies, trading companies, and companies. Especially public companies are concerned with public. They raise share capital from the public. So basically there are two types of shares: equity shares and preference shares. In the present lecture, we are concerned with what are the methods of issue of securities. Any business or company requires capital. It is raised from open public known as share capital. A share is the part of share capital which is divided into a small unit. Suppose a company formed and that company has capital of rupees 50 lakh divided into 5 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each. Here the small unit is 10, that is termed as face value per share. Company requires fund for its various operations or activities. There are two types of funds: owned funds and borrowed funds. Share capital is included under owned fund, and borrowed fund includes debentures, bonds, public deposits, etc. Securities involve shares, debentures, bonds, government papers, etc. A public limited company can raise its capital by issue of shares, but there are seven major methods of issuing corporate securities, namely public issue, or it is also known as initial public offer IPO. Another method of issuing security is private placement. Another method is offer for sale. Then sell through intermediaries. Method number 5, sale of inside courier. Sell through managing brokers. Privileged subscription. These are the seven methods of issue of securities. We relate to each type of security. A security is a tradable financial asset. It is very important. A security is tradable and it is financial asset. In India, the term securities includes. Here we are looking what are included under securities. Securities include shares, scrips, debentures, stocks, debenture stock, bonds, or other marketable securities of a like nature, or any incorporated company or other body corporate. Units issued by the collective investment scheme to the investor in such scheme. Commodity derivatives being incorporated through the Finance Act 2015, and units or any other such instrument issued to the investor under any mutual fund scheme. Government securities, such other instruments, rights or interest thereon shall be declared by the government to be securities. In short, securities include shares, debentures, bonds, stock, marketable securities like units of or units of mutual funds or any derivatives declared by the government as a security. First method of issue of securities is IPO, initial public offer. Under this method, the company issues a prospect to the public inviting offers for subscription. Under IPO, a company trying to get capital from the open market. The investors who are interested in the securities apply for the securities they are willing to buy. Advertisements are also issued in the leading newspapers. When company determine to issue its shares for public subscription, the first step is adopted that a company declares IPO, and company also publish prospect regarding it and gives news in newspapers regarding issue of shares. Under the Companies Act, it is obligatory for public limited company to issue a prospect. It is very important. There are two types of companies, public company and private company. Especially a public limited company has required to issue prospect while issuing its shares in the open market, or file a statement in lieu of prospects with the Register of Companies. Once subscriptions are received, the company makes allotment of securities keeping in view the prescribed requirements. For raising capital from the open market, there are certain legal restrictions that must be followed by the company. The prospects must be drafted and issued in accordance with the provisions of the Companies Act and guidelines of Securities Exchange Board of India. It means that it is necessary to consider the provisions of Companies Act as well as SEBI for initial public offer. Public issue or direct selling of securities is the most common method of selling new issues of securities. It is the common method. IPO is the common method of raising capital from the open public. This method enables a company to raise funds from a large number of investors widely scattered throughout the country. In IPO, our scope is more and we raise capital from the any corner of the country or even abroad. This method ensures a wider distribution of securities, thereby leading to diffusion of ownership and avoids concentration of economic power in few hands. It means that amount is collected from many people rather than few hands. In short, this method is suitable for reputed companies which want to raise large capital and can bear the large cost of a public issue. Another method of issuing securities is private placement. In private placement, the issuing company sells its securities privately to one or more institutional brokers who in turn sell them to their clients and associates. Here name itself suggests that this offer is mostly given to institutional brokers. This method is quite convenient and economical as compared to IPO. Moreover, the company gets the money quickly and there is no risk of non-receipt of minimum subscription. In case of public issue, there may be undersubscription or oversubscription. That type of issue is not occurring in private placement, and a company can raise capital quickly. Private placement suffers from drawbacks like it may not sell the securities in the market but keep with keep them with it. This deprives the public chance to purchase securities. Here, private institutional brokers have given more importance rather than public of a flourishing company, and there may be concentration of the company's ownership in few hands. But it is noted that private placement is very suitable for small issues and during the period of depression. Another method of issue of securities is offer for sale. Under this method, the issuing company allots or agrees to allot the security to an issue house at an agreed price. The issue house or financial institution publishes a document called an offer for sale. It offers to the public shares or debentures for sale at higher price. Application form is attached to the offer document. Every offer document contains with application. After receiving applications, the issue house renounces the allotment in favor of the applicants who become direct allottees of the shares or debentures. Offer for sale. This is the one of the methods of issuing securities, and this method saves the company from the cost and trouble of selling securities directly to the investing public. Offer for sale ensures that the whole issue is sold and stamp duty payable on transfer of shares is saved, but the entire premium is retained by the offerer and not the issuing company. That is the drawback of offer for sale method of issuing securities. Another type of issue of securities is sale through intermediaries. In this method, a company appoints intermediaries like stockbrokers, commercial banks, and financial institutions to assist in finding market for the new securities on a commission basis. It is noted that intermediaries are working on the basis of commission. However, intermediaries do not guarantee the sale of securities. This method is useful when a company has already offered 49% of issue to the general public, which is essential for listing of securities. The pace of sale of securities may be slow. There is uncertainty about the sale of a whole lot of securities offered through intermediaries. Intermediaries include stock brokers, commercial banks, and financial institutions. They are working on commission basis. They are taking lead to sell the securities of the company, but it is noted that this method saves the administrative problems and expenses involved in direct selling of securities to the public. Another method of issuing of securities is sale to inside courtier. A company may resort to subscription by promoters and directors. Promoters and directors at are playing dominant role at initial stage or at the time of formation of the company. Sale to inside coterie helps to save the expenses of public issue. Generally, a percentage of new issue of securities is reserved for subscription by the inside coterie who can this way share the future prosperity of the company. Another method of issuing securities is sale through managing brokers, especially in stock exchange or in stock market. Brokers are playing significant role. Sale of securities through managing brokers is becoming popular, particularly among the new company. This type is mostly used by the new companies because they have newly started their business and they have no reputation in the market at initial stage. Managing brokers advise companies about the proper timing and terms of issue of securities. Managing brokers assist companies in pre-issue publicity, drafting, and issue of prospectus and getting stock exchange listing. Managing brokers also enlist the support and cooperation of share brokers. It means that share brokers are playing significant role for issuing of securities of the corporate sector. Last type of issue of securities is privileged subscription. Privileged subscription is important source of raising capital from the market. When an existing company wants to issue further securities, it is required to offer them to existing shareholders on pro rate basis. In that subscription, we are focusing existing shareholders. Existing shareholders are the shareholders who have purchased our shares already. This is known as right issue. Sale of shares by rights issue is simple and cheaper as compared to sell through prospects. But existing shareholders will subscribe to new issue only when the past performance and future prospect of the company are good. It means that a company should have required to maintain decor of its efficiency. Then such type of company may adopt privileged subscription method of issuing of securities. An existing company may also issue bonus shares free of charge to the existing shareholders. by capitalizing its reserve and surplus. In this way, we get information about types of securities. And I am here concluding my speech. Thank you.